Hello to you, Emmanuel Shachaf.
Hello, hello.
What would be the headlines of this monthly report?
We're now entering a huge call for revenge against the Palestinians, and this is putting a burden on Israel and its people.
Could you please share with me one example that you see this call for revenge?
Well, what clearly is happening in Gaza is revenge. Israel is on a trip of revenge and is killing many more Palestinians than necessary under the circumstances. And this is purely for revenge, not for military purposes.
Maybe this is what is still needed in order to accomplish a total victory, a complete winning after what happened in the massacre of October 7th.
There won't be a total victory. There's no total victory against a force like Hamas. You can downgrade Hamas more and more, but all you're doing is you're killing more and more civilians in the process. So this is already a biblical battle, killing like Amalek, more than something which is called for under the military requirements.
So you don't think that the biblical saying of eye under an eye is what is really needed in order to accomplish for the Jewish Israeli state a state of mind of true liberty?
No, it's the last thing we need. First of all, when it's an eye for an eye, everybody will be blind soon, we know that. And we have to overcome our worst emotions there and our demand for revenge. We can't continue like that.
Do you think that the revenge is happening also within the people that were held captive from the Nukhba, from the terrorists that are in the Israeli prisoners?
Sure, there's clearly revenge going on against Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jail. We had the case of detainees, where the media covered actually one particular case because it was extremely
graphic.
Extremely graphic, but there were many more cases.
Many
more cases. There are dozens of cases where Palestinians were taken to detainees and didn't survive. They were taken alive and they didn't survive, and they were not taken as injured. They were taken alive and well, and they came out dead.
So who is doing that revenge?
That's remains to be discovered, but obviously it's under Israeli authority.
And do you think that this kind of revenge might happen or is already happening with the 58 Israelis that are being held in Gaza, in the tunnels, in the tents, in the Hamas and Jihad Islamic?
May very well be that Hamas conducts their revenge on them, and that they're not going to survive. It's clear.
They won't survive?
I don't think they'll survive.
Why?
If Israel keeps pounding Gaza the way we're pounding Gaza right now, they're not going to survive. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And if they get killed by Hamas or if they get killed by Israeli bombs, it's really not material. It's what is clear is that they're not going to survive if we keep this up.
Where else do you see this kind of revenge being done by Israelis?
Well, first of all, in the legal sphere, Israel is now looking into legislating laws which make it possible to accuse the Nukhbot, the Hamas
top terrorists,
the top terrorists from Hamas, and the law that is being considered is one which is extremely strict, which would force the prosecution to accuse them all of genocide, and would call for a death sentence.
Yet they were committing
genocide. Again, I think what is on the Israeli law books is sufficient. If we were able to put to trial Adolf Eichmann, I think we should be able to put to trial the Nukhbot from 7th of October without making a change to the law. But the law that is being considered now is one which is clearly a revenge, a call for revenge more than anything else.
And what do you think about the shooting towards the Supreme Court?
Well, this is just another symptom of the violence which is going on, the right-wing violence mainly. In addition to individual attacks on individuals who happen to be Arab or happen to be Reform Jews, the violent calls for action against the Supreme Court resulted in somebody shooting out the window in the Supreme Court.
Do you think that a judge might get hurt?
Yeah, very sure. And the next step is to beat up the judge, or more than that, or worse than that.
If Netanyahu or Ben-Gvir would listen to you right now and would be here in the studio, we say, hey, the left wings, they entered the headquarters of the Likud, Metzudat Ze'ev, and they are trying to create violence also there. So there is an equality.
There's no equality when the violence is sanctioned by the government, and this is actually what's happening. The Minister of Public Security, which is of National Security, that is Ben-Gvir, is basically sanctioning that violence by not prosecuting. The people who committed the pogrom in Ra'anana against the Reform synagogue there, that happened 40 days ago. There's still nobody has been taken to investigation, and no accusations have been published.
There are accusations against the government, Gali Marav Miara. She's the legal consultant, and she's being accused by the government.
The government wants to get rid of the Attorney General and accuses the Attorney General of not cooperating with the government, which is of course not the case.
Do you think they will manage to put her aside?
I think they're putting on a show more than anything else, because they did it in such a clumsy way that they should be smart enough to realize that they won't be able to do it this way.
In a few days, the head of the Israeli Shabak is stepping down. What do you think is going to be happening there in that organization?
The Attorney General permitted the government to appoint somebody in a temporary assignment. So that's most likely what's going to happen. So, which is of course not a good thing for a professional operation like the Shabak. It's not good to have somebody who is depending on the government. But that's what's most likely going to happen.
You're talking about revenge in this interview, and the Israeli people, part of maybe the revenge that they want, or to feel secure, they want that the population in Gaza will go away from Gaza,
yes.
Maybe for another country, maybe as Donald Trump said, to Africa, to Libya. What do you think about the percentage of Israeli people that claim this kind of solution?
I think it's a sign of the moment. It's again these feelings of revenge which come to play here more than anything else. I don't think that Israelis clear thinking would come to the same conclusion, because as we know that things like that, the Nakba is still a problem, and it hasn't, and just transferring people away.
If they want to be transferred,
yeah, well,
if they will say
we know that that's a shaggy dog story. That doesn't work that way.
They have no homes. Everything was demolished.
Okay, so they live in tents until it's being rebuilt. Okay, Israel can come to play there too. We have to live with the Palestinians. We have 7 million Palestinians in this area. How many are we going to transfer? We can't transfer them all. We can probably not even transfer half or a third. Okay, so what is the future for this undertaking? The Jewish state will lose all legitimacy if this is actually going through.
You're talking about the future. Do you think that Israel has a future, a clear one?
Well, right now it doesn't have a clear future. It's clear it's definitely in danger. And
danger of collapse?
Kind of a collapse, yeah. The state will not disappear, obviously. It won't be the startup nation that it has been until very recently. We're going down. It's clear.
Do you think, Emmanuel Shachaf, you're always emphasizing towards the end of the interview one upside, one good news, one point of light that you're seeing in the tunnel? What would be this one now?
The only thing I can think of now is the publication of our book, Shared Sovereignty, together with Taysir Abu Saada.
The new book.
The new book, which tries to keep a light burning even in these dark times. I hope it will get a lot of publicity.
The headline of the book would be?
It's Shared Sovereignty, a federal state, a joint federal state, Israeli-Palestinian joint federal state with Gaza a separate entity. I think that's the only thing that we can hope for.
Do you think that's the new beginning of the end of the Israeli state as we know it?
It could very well be. If we get enough support for it, then it could be.
Do you see another solution?
I don't see another solution.
So this is the only one?
In my eyes, it's the only one. But I'm, of course, biased. What can you say?
So
been working on this
for many years.
Quite a few years.
Yeah, so many years with lectures, with a book, with interviews. People that want to be part of the community, of the federation, of the new book, of you, Emmanuel Shachaf, how can they reach you?
On Facebook, Emmanuel Shachaf, or the Federation Movement, or Identity, the Quest for Israel's Future.
Emmanuel Shachaf, I want to thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.